Welcome back to U.S. Farm Report. Well, Chip's Corner this week, Jim Wiesemeyer joining us. Chip is taking some time off. Jim Wiesemeyer, a frequent visitor on AgriTalk, kind enough to step in. Jim, reading your newsletter this week, you're talking about a growing likelihood of a trade war between the EU and China. Is a trade war between the U.S. and China still on the table?
Oh, yes, especially after the presidential election, no matter who wins that, you're going to see increased friction between the United States and China, much like you're seeing right now between China and the EU, because both of those areas of the world, Tyne, are flexing their muscles. So, yeah, the trend is not our friend relative to improved relations between either the EU and the U.S. with China.
Well, as we saw Trump's lead in the Iowa caucus, in the majority of the vote that he received there, we know his stance on trade policy. So what are farmers saying right now on why they're throwing their support behind Trump?
Well, I've given several speeches lately throughout our great country, and I've asked farmers that, and they say, well, if he follows through with his suggestion, perhaps the first week, if he were to become president again, that he would invoke what he calls a universal tariff, an across-the-board tariff on all exporters to the United States, including ones, I guess, that we have trade agreements with, like Japan, of at least 10% tariffs. Now, that's going to invoke retaliation on the part of our trade allies. So I asked farmers, aren't you upset about this? Well, they almost seemed resigned, but they fervently believe that just like the first time we had a U.S.-China trade war, you recall, Trump tapped the Commodity Credit Corporation for billions of dollars. I think $27 billion total, as it worked out to be. And so farmers think that rather than payments through the marketplace or whatever, they'll just get it through income transfers via the CCC. That's been an interesting development when I've gone on the road, Tyne.
Well, speaking of CCC, just last week we heard Secretary Vilsack say if we're going to see an increase in reference price, maybe to get that funding, Congress should look at tapping into the CCC. It just seems like Farm Bill, I mean, it's whiplash right now. Are we going to see one this year? Are we going to not? But no matter what, Jim, it seems like it is getting even more partisan.
Oh, it's the formerly bipartisan Farm Bill has definitely turned partisan, both in the Senate and the House. You saw Stabenow recently say that she wants to propose giving farmers a hard choice between choosing either a souped-up crop insurance program, she didn't detail how she would soup it up, or picking an ARC or a PLC-type program. Well, the Congressional Budget Office is going to score that as savings because they know the vast majority of farmers and ranchers would choose crop insurance for the right reasons. It's a better risk management tool. So Stabenow wants, I guess, that money for other purposes. But no Republican in the Senate is going to, or very few, would go along with that. So you're going to have a Republican farm bill and a Democratic farm bill. Neither will go nowhere.
Well, Jim, thanks for your insight. You can hear Jim every Friday on AgriTalk AM for the free-for-all. But coming up, he's going to be at our Top Producer Summit. That's happening February 5th through the 7th in Kansas City, Missouri. So make sure to register now for Top Producer Summit. You can hear Jim Wiesemeyer as well as a host of other speakers. Jim, thanks so much for joining us. So we need to take a quick break, and then we'll have much more right here on U.S. Farm Report.